Hey everybody, welcome to Salty Saturday, the final edition of Salty Saturday before the new mini set drops this next Thursday. I'm Donde, excited to be here with not one, but two co-casters this evening. As always, Icicles is here with me tonight. Ice, how you doing, man?
Good, good. Wasn't sure if I was going to be able to make it, so I'm not in the process of being replaced by Ron, at least not yet. But we do appreciate him being willing to step in and help out.
Yes, absolutely. Ron is here as a guest co-caster this evening. Ron stepping in as a possible replacement for Icicles, who was able to make it, but we didn't want to say no to Ron. Who needs less Ron in their life? We all need more Ron in our life. Ron, what's going on tonight, buddy?
Not too much, man. It's going good. Just excited to, as always, be a part of some great Hearthstone casting action. BrushyTuna versus Gkick to lead off gets me real excited because I call it a win-win. You know what I'm saying? Like either my teammate BrushyTuna wins, which is great, or my rival BrushyTuna loses, which is great. So I'm here for it, man.
And I think we are all here for it at this point. And as you said, that is the first match of the evening. It is a legacy match between Gkick of Mrgl Reborn versus BrushyTuna of Prep is for Rogues Not Pilots. And Gkick currently working on another undefeated season at 3-0. Brushy a little slow at the starting blocks at 1-2, though they weren't slow at the starting blocks tonight, letting us know the bans. We're already ready to roll with that. Gkick said no warrior for Brushy, and Brushy said no rogue for Gkick. So although the classes are a true mirror, we will not see an exact mirror because of the bans here. So, Icicles, take us through the analysis here on this ban
You didn't
on
let me
the
guess
early.
because that's
Oh, I'm
totally
sorry.
what I was going to call. No,
Was it
it's
totally?
totally
Oh
fine.
well, I'm sorry. I got too
Here's the thing.
excited
Here's
there.
the thing. We talked about this before the show, where it's to make Icicles look like an idiot game,
It's
and
true.
you didn't even give me a chance, and I wouldn't have been an idiot today. So you had to play it that way.
I'll let you guess the
Um,
second
Smart.
the second one tonight.
He
yeah, I'll
predicted you'd
definitely
get it right, so he didn't let you say it.
I'll definitely miss that one. Yeah, so I know Ron, being Brushy's teammate, probably has the insider info on what Brushy's bringing, but knowing him, it's likely to be some form of control shaman. Gkick's probably
Sure.
playing more of an aggressive shaman. It makes sense that Gkick would ban warrior. That's probably the more consensus ban, I think, especially if you're playing more aggressive decks like maybe the enhancement shaman and the potentially aggro demon hunter. And then Brushy banning rogue is more in line with the slower control style. So I wouldn't be surprised to see the two players take those two routes tonight in this match.
Well, since I put the kibosh a little bit on you looking silly to start with, I'll ask you both this question here because this one might be a fun little side bet here. Based on the classes that we see, how many weapons are getting stolen in this series?
Ooh, stolen. I'm gonna go with 0.
You think 0 weapons getting stolen? I think there's a sticky
Yeah.
finger somewhere here.
No
No,
sticky fingers. Calling it now. This is a 0 sticky finger lineup from both players.
Well, I'm sure
yeah, I
that'll
think
go
the
right
one
ahead.
player that might have it is Brushy in one of his control decks, and maybe the Shaman. But it's probably something you can get away from, even playing against Shaman and Demon Hunter. So yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards Ron. Just to be contrarian, I'll say 1. We'll say
All
Brushy pulls
right.
it off once.
I just want to see the blood pressure spike for a few moments for the players because that's like one of the worst moments is when you're ready, you got your weapon and then all of a sudden it gets yoinked, and that's been a big part of the meta the first few weeks. A little bit less now with the nerf to evolve shaman, but still present. So why don't we let the players know that we've talked enough about this match and we can get them going.
Yeah,
Sweet.
I think the one thing that we've noticed with Sticky Finger, how good it was against Evolve Shaman, is because Evolve Shaman really drove how the deck worked. And even though it's still good in some matchups, at least taking weapons away, like for Enhancement Shaman and some of the Demon Hunter stuff, it's not necessarily that you're taking away their game plan. It's usually those weapons are finishers. And you're already dead by the time you play Sticky Finger. So playing a 5-mana 4/4 that takes the weapon is just a way to ensure that you lose anyway, because they're just about to kill you. So not quite as potent as it was pre-Evolve nerf.
Definitely. Well, we'll see
Yeah,
what
if you
they
said
lead
weapon
here.
removal, I feel like maybe there's an ooze that we might see, or multiple oozes, but sticky fingers seems unlikely to me.
Well, I guess we'll have to see.
We will.
We will see. So we are going to have, when we get started here, Gkick on the bottom of your screen, and Brushy will be on the top. This is a legacy match. This is the first match of this series, to my knowledge, at least when I last refreshed. So, Ron, you can let me know if I'm wrong about that. I am wrong about that. Dab says defeated RonMexico. I'm sorry, Ron. I just
No, it's
refreshed.
fine. It's fine. Actually, Fuel already played first too. So Fuel got a 3-1 for Prep, and Dab's got a 3-1 for Mrgl. So we are completely tied after 2 games, 5-5.
Indeed.
Yeah, Dab's got me pretty good earlier today.
Well, we
Good
are getting into
times.
game here, so I'll get that up on the screen now. We'll fix the graphic that is incorrect because I had last refreshed at 0-0, and now it's 5-5. So we'll fix that and see what these players are playing for their first classes here.
Looks like we've got BrushyTuna on the road and Gkick on what appears to be a very aggressive Demon Hunter, seeing a couple Battle Mages off the starting hand. Brushy probably playing a World Kick Rogue, seeing Mrgl and Edwin. Yes, you could theoretically bring Secret, but I think World Kick is kind of proven out to be the better variant for Rogue right now.
Yeah, really nice looking hand for Tuna to start off, finding the backstab, which is huge against such an aggressive lineup early. Having the coin to be able to coin out a Foxy and a Miscreant on the next turn. We likely just see a backstab here right now from Tuna and pass.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think this is one of the reasons why this Rogue deck is really good against the aggressive Demon Hunters. They have so many answers, and getting lackeys early off the Miscreant gives you a lot of ways of dealing with that early pressure and just keeping the Demon Hunter from ever getting its foot in the door.
This is interesting, seeing Mana Feeder and Relentless Pursuit in hand. I think Gkick is playing the aggro lifesteal DH. So it runs Polkelt, it runs Skulls, it runs Il'gynoth and Warblades and Pursuits. It cuts the Voracious Readers and runs this as the basically the top end cards, looking to get just a mega damage burst with the lifesteal.
Yeah, it's an interesting variant which I've seen pop up a little bit here and there on ladder. Haven't come across it in THL yet, but well, there's the Warblades right on command. So you are absolutely correct about the makeup of this deck.
I think back, like, this deck reminds me a little bit of, really old school Tempo Mage, where you tried to play for the board in the early game, but knew that eventually you were going to lose out, and then you would finish the game with the Frostbolts and Fireballs over the top for that burn damage. And the way this deck does it is with the Il'gynoth combo with the Warblades. It doesn't run like the Moargs and the Fellscream Blast and all that kind of stuff that a pure lifesteal Demon Hunter would, but has just enough to finish a game if you've been able to put out enough chip damage with these minions. So interesting mix of two pretty decent archetypes on their own. See how they work together.
Brushy doing a little bit of board cleanup here. Won't be able to get rid of everything, but as mentioned, he's going to dagger up, get rid of 2 minions, and still have that 2/4 to contest. Gkick will have a few options here, but likely, like you said, he's probably going to try to keep those Warblades from Relentless Pursuit if he can, and Stilt Stepper's the pickup.
Tuna is very much hoping for a spell off the top for what looks like a plan for a possible big questing adventure. On Gkick's side, maybe you can play that Stilt Stepper, but if you draw anything that costs more than 1, you're not thrilled.
Yeah, dead turn in that case.
The Relentless Pursuit makes sense here, just to kind of stay on top of what Brushy's putting out so that you can protect the Battle Fiend and continue putting pressure on the Rogue. The Rogue doesn't have healing, so...
This taunt was pretty huge for BrushyTuna, soaking up 6 damage right there from a 5 health minion, and exactly what Tuna was hoping for. A swindle off the top. No surprise. It's questing adventure,
Yeah.
prep swindle.
Oh, Shadow Step.
Wow.
I was going to say, not only did he get a spell, he got literally the spell to chain into more things.
Oh, that's disaster for Gkick. This questing adventure can just solo a victory here now.
Yeah, Relentless Pursuit would have been real nice now to take out the 7/7, but he wouldn't even have been able to get there this turn.
Right. Yeah, it's the trade-off that the aggressive Demon Hunter makes is basically being all in, and if the Rogue is able to stick that questing, there's almost nothing in the deck that can deal with that other than that Relentless Pursuit, which we already saw. So, yeah, tough spot for Gkick now.
Gkick can't do anything but just send damage and hope.
The damage is sent, but it is a long way off of lethal.
Yeah, I think his only chance
really good
now...
pickup.
Yeah, the Brain Freeze makes Brushy's hand even better now with World Kick and do a little damage here. So I think Gkick's only possibility now would be Jesus. Draw the
play that Foxy Prod. Perfect.
Go off the top into Il'gynoth, into Twin Slice or something, just to.
It's still not enough, though. It's still just
now.
Game over.
Right.
Gkick's only chance is if he actually ran Consume Magic in his deck, which I don't believe he does. Yeah, so that's game 1. BrushyTuna, just rides on the back of that questing adventurer and gets a big early win.
Yeah, that's. I mean, Questing Adventure has arguably become the more important card in the deck since the nerf to Edwin. Those questings, if they can get out of control, as we saw there, we saw it last night on stream too. It's impossible to stop at times unless you're specifically designed to beat Rogue or have an answer to like a turn 3 or turn 4 questing, which a lot of decks just don't have.
Absolutely. So I wonder if Gkick just goes right back with the aggro DH, because that might have been one of its worst matchups right there into the Rogue. Interesting to see what BrushyTuna is going to go for next. Possibly the Control Shaman, anticipating some aggression.
Yeah, it depends on what Demon Hunter Gkick is expecting Brushy to be on. If Brushy's playing the pure lifesteal version or even the Soul Demon Hunter, I think those are both really tough for that aggro Demon Hunter to get through. So,
okay, so Tuna does go Soul Demon Hunter, and Gkick is bringing a Warrior here. This looks to be Enrage.
One second, I'll be spectating in just again. Had a little bit of a bug. Perfect.
Gkick picking up the Armor Smith. This is definitely an Enrage variant. Got that Kor'kron Elite in hand too. I guess it remains to be seen if this is the ETC version that has that little extra burst.
I like that mix between having the Kor'kron for just a little over the top damage if the opponent decides to kill all your stuff and then never play anything of their own. Still lets you get that burst in, but the ETC is your primary win condition, other than just armor up and destroy everything as Enrage Warrior wants to do.
Yeah, if this is like hybrid, and it is, yeah.
There it is.
If Gkick plays this right, oftentimes this feels almost impossible for the Demon Hunter to win, because you feel like you can't flood the board due to the ETC combo killing you, which gives the Warrior time to just set up the Kor'kron combo and kill you with that instead.
I think one thing that is nice here, though, is Brushy's playing a variant in this Soul DH that doesn't necessarily put a ton of stuff on board a lot of the time, so it might help a little bit that he's going to go for maybe like 1 or 2 larger minions in those Soul Shard Lapidaries. But that, yeah, it's still a tough matchup for the Soul DH.
Pretty good options off of the Burglar. I think all 3, maybe not the draw, but the other 2 certainly had merit. Picks up the Adorable Infestation, which I think makes a lot of sense. Something to give your either Skipper Armor with a little extra life to let it survive a little longer, or put a little more pressure out. And,
possibly just another cheap minion for ETC as well in the late game.
Yeah.
All right, well, here comes Armor and Draw. 2 things Warrior loves to do.
Yeah, I think he felt pretty safe about doing that now. Normally, you try to hold out a little bit on the Skipper Armor Smith combo to get a little more maybe killing value out of it. But having that Battle Rage, just being able to get his resources up, felt like it was the right time to do that. Or maybe he felt a little desperate. It's tough to say.
Yeah, but BrushyTuna coming in here with a very early Skull. Crucially misses the discount on the Skull. I mean, I guess you're happy enough just to draw it, but out of all the frags that could have missed a discount, that one definitely feels the worst. But Tuna does get to clear up this board, deny some armor gain, push a little damage, and is a perfectly fine spot.
And we see Gkick's hand growing here. He is kind of assembling a decent amount of pieces, so to speak, between the ETC and the Broom, Enrages. Like there's a lot of burst potential if he plays these cards right, no pun intended, in his hand right now.
Yeah, he's just waiting for the Bloodsworns to kind of finish the deal there.
If this isn't a Mystic turn, I don't know what is.
Yeah, this is pretty much tailor-made for it.
The question is, what else do? You drop the Ooze behind it? Do you play a Mana Feeder without the draw?
I think you probably just Hero Power, yeah.
You don't even play the Ooze?
Well, yeah, the Ooze could be pretty important depending on what he's up against. He does not know... Well, he might know that he's up against at least in Rage because of the Sky Raiders.
Raider now
He
is kind of a
doesn't know
signifier.
necessarily if
Hey,
he's
it's a sticky
phasing
finger.
the ETC. Oh my god, Donde. Who needs to main deck it when you can just generate it? I think Icicles might be right with the call
I say,
of
listen,
exactly
we
one.
put no restrictions on how the sticky finger was acquired, and the weapon thus acquired
That's
after it. So
incredible.
that's, anything can happen when I'm involved. Witchy lackeys, sticky fingers. It can be anything at all.
So Tuna just getting a cheap Bladed Lady down that's going to rush in, clear the minion, gets to push 9 damage. Still a dangerous board for Gkick to face off against here.
This is when you start having to make some tough decisions as the warrior. You're missing a skipper. You do have the sticky fingers.
What?
There it is. Sticky finger, no hesitation.
And if you play
Such
this broom,
a dirty play there to be able to pull off. Yeah, there's the emote from Tuna. Knew that was coming.
Yeah, I think it makes sense to play this broom to clear off the 6/5, protect yourself a little bit. It does give away the game a little bit. You want to try as the warrior to hold on to that as long as possible, just for information purposes. But in this situation, you had to do it. You had to get that thrown off the board.
And should be very clear now to BrushyTuna that he is facing the ETC Enraged Warrior hybrid deck, meaning it's dangerous to put a good amount of health minion-wise on the board, but being so early in the game, oftentimes you're very unlikely dead here. He is on exactly 30.
Yeah, your thought process now is like basically you're on a clock in your mind. You want to get this game over with as fast as possible. You don't want to give the warrior time to armor up again. You want to give him time to draw the rest of the pieces that he would need. But this is going to be very threatening from Gkick's side, depending on how he wants to use this 9-2.
Gkick went no hesitation here, and I mean, the early pressure that BrushyTuna was able to put him under maybe just forced him to feel like he needed to get this out. I don't know if his deck is running only 1 or 2 Corcorons, but usually it's just one, which means the most dangerous part of Gkick's entire deck has now been shown to BrushyTuna, and this is really, really good for you as the Demon Hunter to see this come out right here, I think.
Picks up that consume off the top, and we'll get the draw out of it here, allowing him to easily take care of that 9-2 instead. Yeah, very, very close. Plus that Cane in hand too is not always a card that you see in the Soul DH builds. At least not a card that I've seen 100% of the time.
Yeah, so this will be a Blade Lady and the Octus probably as well. Imagine the 7 damage going face.
Yeah, it seems fine to play here, given that you're not really expecting a Bulwark running this list,
right?
Which would be the main reason to hold it back. And it just gets a little bit more minion presence on the board. Of course, Gkick at 6 health. Yeah, this is...
Really even drawing that skipper doesn't... Has 1 Armor Smith to go with it, but I don't think it's going to be quite enough of that Cane sitting in hand.
I mean, the skipper, at the very least, looks like it could have saved him from certain death. There might not be enough now for Tuna to get through, depending on the top deck.
Yeah.
That top deck's a Chaos Strike. That is absolutely enough.
Well, turns out it is enough. Oh, Tuna, do your counting.
Do the math,
counting.
Man.
Count the math.
I mean, if you want to flex on him and play the skull, that's one thing. Maybe you win it in style, but I don't think that's what you're looking for when you got the guaranteed lethal.
He had the play in mind. Oh, I'm just 100% gonna rip Cane and Skull here, and pause for just long enough to reassess. I'm gonna give Tuna some crap about this one though, because he also didn't take the Found You lethal, but he does go up 2-0, getting a nice victory over Gkick's Warrior, and now only 1 deck left to go through. Gkick still looking for the first win here.
As an added bonus, you just completed my spectator quest, so thank you.
Hey, how about that? I always wonder if that completes for you, whether you're watching the top or the bottom player win.
When I bugged out, I flipped Brushy to the bottom. So that worked out for me.
Look at you. Very smart. We're going to see Shaman here for Brushy, because that's all that's left. and Gkick will have his pick of the opponent that he would like to put up against it. So, Ron, like you said, we're expecting Control Shaman here. So,
I mean,
will Gkick be expecting Control
BrushyTuna
Shaman?
loves Control Shaman.
Oh yes, I'm aware of this.
If Gkick did any kind of scouting, he probably knows that this is going to be Control Shaman here. And I like the Demon Hunter bring. I think that is the right move to go into the Shaman.
I am determined to win this.
You know what I do have to say I think is a little misplay here is playing the Thunder King as your avatar as the shaman.
What would you prefer?
Well, pretty much anything but Mrgl, to be honest.
Well, you gotta hit the Mrgl.
No offense, Mrgl, Reborn, and your fans out there. I apologize for
right?
anyone offended.
I mean, Donde's clearly very antagonistic to Gkick and his team right now.
Stomping on all over the place.
But we're getting
Wow,
okay,
this is
Tuna.
aggressive spamming of the kneel before me emote. Maybe we should have picked how many aggressive emotes there would have been this game rather than weapons stolen.
We could not have set the bar high enough.
No, absolutely not.
Wow, big draw. This is a really good start for the Demon Hunter. Exactly what you want. Follows
Definitely.
up with the Wriggling Horror next turn. The Shaman had a ton of AoE, but it doesn't come online until turn 5 at least. Maybe turn 4 with the coin.
Oh, let's get some more AoE too. Yeah, that's the thing is at this point, Brushy needs to get to the point where he can stabilize, and if he can't, it's going to be a quick game here.
Forced to just play this Note Taker just to try to soak up some of the damage on the board.
This Wriggling Horror, I was going to say, probably goes between the 3-2 and the 2-2 here, so that way the Note Taker can be taken out and keep all the bodies alive. And send it in
Gkick
face.
not even hero powering here, just using a Twin Slice. He's going just full aggression right now.
I mean, once you saw the Diligent Note Taker, it can only be really one of two things. It's either the Burn Shaman, which Brushy has not been playing nearly aggressive enough for it to be that, or it's the Control Shaman. So Gkick knows his time is effectively limited, and I think just getting that damage in as fast as possible is right.
Yeah, so now we are finally going to see BrushyTuna have a way to deal with this board after taking just massive amounts of damage through the first 3 turns.
The problem is he's still dead. He plays
Right.
scheme, then Gkick just
Yep.
plays the
Warblade's hero power is going to do it.
And that is a
good call,
2.5
good
minute game.
Wow.
2 minutes and 30 seconds for Gkick to get on the board here, now trailing 2-1.
And we got another emote.
Excellent maneuvering.
You wonder how much karma plays into some of these games. Brushy clearly had a mind to just, try to flex on his opponent as much as possible after going up 2-0 and was immediately flexed back on by a ridiculous start from the Demon Hunter.
Yeah, I don't know how often I would flex on an opponent who's gone 3-0 to this point in the season and also has had historically some very, very impressive seasons. So Gkick should not be counted out in any capacity. This is me making it up to the Mrgl fans out there right now as well.
Nice.
Good effort.
I'm here for you. I'm here for everybody.
Surprised to see the Warrior come down next here. Maybe Gkick has found this matchup to be a little bit better than the Shaman Mirror. Not quite sure.
The fact that he's playing the hybrid Enrage that has both the Corcoran and the ETC combo gives him maybe a little more flexibility. If he's able to put at least some damage out early, then that Corcoran combo becomes a problem for Brushy, because Brushy's going to want to keep the board clear towards the late game, knowing that ETC is part of this deck. So that's where the Corcoran can shine.
There's really only 2 minions that BrushyTuna can play in the late game against this deck, and it's the 2 that he's currently holding, well, 2 of the 3 that he's currently holding in his hand. The 2 Walking Fountains are massive as a way to block the ETC combo as well. You can't exactly rush into those and deal ETC damage because it just heals right back up on a hit.
Mystery Choice looking like the pick here. I don't see Soul of the Murloc. Yeah, that's not... Oh.
I would have gone with Primordial Studies. I think it's just an extra
Yikes.
resource.
I mean, it's better. It was better than Totemic Surge, that's for darn sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a rough one. BrushyTuna does at least get to activate the torrent for the next turn by playing that.
Yeah, that is a small bit of solace for him there.
I'm curious if he'll put the Hecklebot here as well to try to pull out. I mean, in his mind, pull out the ETC.
With
but
the
no, he
note
only
taker
leveled
top
turn.
deck,
Yeah, it makes a
yeah,
lot
it
more
looks
sense.
very nice to just get a full board clear.
Mhm. Yeah, that was a
Double
big
torrent. Yep, that's a good play right there. I didn't even realize that he was going to get that torrent. I was like, why is he not hitting the 3/9? But then it made a lot of sense.
Yeah, deal 16 damage to your opponent's minions for 2 mana. Seems pretty decent.
Sky General Crag, not a great pirate to get off of the Sky Raider. Kobold Lackey is a great lackey, however, to get off of any lackey generator.
Yeah, probably one of the top ones that you'd like to see. In a deck like this, you're pretty happy with Rush Lackey a lot of times, Spell Lackey always, and Shoot Lackey's just more damage, so doing what the deck wants to do.
Marshmallow, a nice draw here. Gets them an additional resource. You can find something to do with this board easily. Serpentine Portal is decent. Rune Carvings makes sense for next turn, but I think Serpentine Portal now is better.
Yeah, it looks like he wants to just coin out this Serpentine Portal, clear up the 2/3. Get another minion on board.
Yeah, I don't mind that. You've got a lot of tools at your disposal right now with Hagget the Scheme. Also, it's up to what, 6 at this point? 6,
It's
yeah.
a really good minion to get too, especially because GK doesn't have an answer for it.
Yeah, Gkick's hand looking real awkward, just forced to use that Cutting Glass as a 5 mana draw too. But starting to put a little bit more pieces together. The Korkron is always huge to see.
And he's already used one Inner Rage, so that does kind of limit the Korkron's potential as a finisher. Depends on how much healing Brush is able to do from this point.
Did we see 2 Shield of Honor in Gkick's last game with the Warrior?
We saw 1. I mean, that's not to say that he doesn't have a second, but I think we've only confirmed 1 in the list so far.
Alright, okay. You know BrushyTuna really wanted to pull an ETC, of course. Literally impossible to do when it is in Gkick's hand.
This is still pretty awkward for Gkick. He doesn't have a Battle Rage, doesn't have any card draw. Just being forced to play a 4-mana 2/3 and Hero Power is pretty rough,
Yeah.
so Brushy's got to be pretty happy with how this game is going so far.
Yeah, ugly looking turn that Gkick was forced into, and great top deck from BrushyTuna. Had an awkward turn himself, and now the Farsight enables that spell burst ability on the Firebrand and picks up a 1-mana Hex, which is not bad to see if you are the Shaman. BrushyTuna, I think on every turn, will just want to full clear the board, debating on whether or not he ever presses the button, given the deck's ETC win condition. I don't
Probably
think
not.
he's gonna hero power at all this whole game.
No, there's not a lot
Going
of value
forward.
to it. And so speaking of Hex, this is probably one of the better Hex targets in GK's list is the Blood Boil Brute. So getting that from Brushy's side is pretty advantageous right now. But even now, he doesn't even have to do that. He can just play a Walking
Yeah,
Fountain.
given that he's got exactly 8 mana, I think he still wants to go Walking Fountain since that minion's right at 4 health. Take the 8 heal, clear the 2 minions off the board that are the most troublesome, and leave behind just a 1/1 that will kill itself with any minions played.
Yeah. Rough spot for Gkick. I think you just need to be patient. You're kind of screwed right now, so
Yeah.
you can't play anything in your hand at this point. You
Yeah, it
have
looks
to wait.
brutal.
Even though there's a 4 attack Wind Fury minion, you have 46 life. You're not dying anytime soon. You just have to wait. I would not have done this.
Well, he's going to play that
Oh.
Korkron.
Yeah,
So he must have 2 in his deck? Or a Grom?
possibly. Yeah, it's possible. Usually Grom is a cut from the ETC variant.
Otherwise, that seems like
Yeah.
it's just actually game over because BrushyTuna will happily burn cards and never play minions to avoid the ETC combo.
That's
And having
exactly what
already
you see
seen,
there.
right? Having already seen a Inner Rage played, one Corcoran. I mean, Brushy knows it has some ETC pieces in it, so you're right. There's no reason for Brushy to really do anything now at this point. Just fatigue out the Warrior.
I mean, the board does get cleared, and Walking Fountain is very safe to play, really on any board, because you can't ETC combo on a lifesteal minion.
The other thing too is
Perfectly fine.
so the
Gkick draw 2? No, it just waits.
no, you wait, yeah. 53 life. It's gonna take him Brushy a while to burn you down without playing anything else. So I think at some point Brushy might be able to play the Instructor Fireheart because it only has 3 life, so you can only get hit at most 3 times.
True.
So that's a max of 18 damage. So you can play one minion here or there if you're at full life, knowing that the ETC combo is still limited by your minion life. So that's a possibility. But for now, I mean, just keep smacking with this Walking Fountain and call it a turn.
Yeah. This is we've reached the absolute most exciting point of the broadcast, where Gkick presses the button and passes, and Tuna hits him twice with the Wind Fury minion and passes over
Yeah, it's interesting
and over.
that he played the Corcoran because now he's drawing both of the Bloodsworns, so he wouldn't have been able to kill him from full, but playing it at that point just felt like a throwaway, I think.
I mean, this Walking Fountain is absolutely just demolishing Gkick's massive armor right now.
Yeah.
Both players at 11 cards left in their deck, and Gkick at one point is just going to feel so forced to throw out his combo to try to find a win.
Yeah, I can't believe this fountain has lived as long. I've never seen a fountain live this long, and I know that there's really no easy way for Gkick to have done anything about it, at least not up to this point here. But man, it's funny to see that fountain just live that long, and he's not going to kill the fountain.
So could Gkick have swung into the fountain first and drawn an extra card?
Yeah.
I guess he didn't want to. Maybe he just looking for that damage, but I mean the damage is negated by the fountain anyway. So I think I would have taken the extra card. Maybe he's just frustrated that the way this game is gone and not necessarily thinking it all the way through.
I honestly don't see a way Gkick wins.
I think just playing the Sword Eater last turn and killing the Walking Fountain.
Yeah, that's what I kind of expected to happen.
With the skipper, I guess he would have had to, and maybe not played the Battle Rage. Because at some point, you get armor and the Shaman just gets healing, but if the Shaman's trying to fatigue you out, you could theoretically just wait, and then if you have another Corcoran, set up Corcoran combo later in the game when fatigue is a thing, and if Brushy plays this Elysiana, we see, I guess doesn't really have it, but if he plays the Elysiana, that gives you a target for your ATC combo. So you could theoretically win a fatigue as a warrior if you are able to maintain that patience.
We're down to 6 cards in Gkick's deck to find out whether or not he has another charger. Tuna just throwing out that tidal wave, getting another clear, dealing with the board. Gkick still waiting at this point, drawing all the pirates, 5 cards left. BrushyTuna was able to avoid burning a card, finally. Knows he shouldn't die to 4 health from a minion, so safe enough to play this one. Picking the Rockbiter just to play it now to send 3 damage and not burn a card again.
One thing to keep in mind, the Shield of Honor can be played on enemy minions, so you can essentially give a minion that you're attacking a little extra health to be able to hit into it more often, should that potentially be a way to get enough damage, but
that is interesting.
Hexing his own minion. That's it. Eliminate that possibility altogether.
Yeah, there aren't really a whole lot of hex targets remaining either. Just 1 remaining brute in the deck, which, he's got a 1-mana hex for. Gkick accelerating death and fatigue. There's that brute we talked about. So, yep, that one's going to get hexed by a 1-mana hex for sure.
So we would expect there to be a second Broom in Gkick's deck. I'm trying to think of what else we haven't seen yet.
Well, he's holding second Broom in hand.
Because he played one earlier. No, did he play one earlier?
Yeah, he played one earlier.
Okay.
Interesting, we see the Fireheart now. Well, there's burn damage.
Yeah, definitely no one do Ancestral Spirit. You don't want your minion to come back.
Yeah, it has to be Lava Burst if you want to play it this turn.
very interesting to see it go into the minion and not face. I figured
First time
we'd
too?
just see a hex here. I don't know what the hex is being saved for. Maybe BrushyTuna is actually hedging against the possibility of another charge minion.
That or Rattle Core. Because right now this is only answer to it.
True, yeah.
Very
I didn't
true.
think this list ever ran Rattlegore, but it is possible, I suppose, and that could be another consideration for BrushyTuna.
So there's a second Broom. So then that last card, the last card is a Corcoran or a Grom.
So I was incorrect. I thought he must have played the Broom the other
It was a
game.
different game.
Yeah, different
Yeah.
game. All the Warrior games blending together at this point.
Alright, so 3 health with the Divine Shield on it gives 4 attacks potentially, which is a max of 24 damage. So not quite there. See if Brushy does anything here, but most likely not.
So is this last card a second Shield of Honor or perhaps a second Corcoran?
I wonder if BrushyTuna ever wants to just Earthquake or scheme his own Fireheart to take everything off the board. No, just throwing out a Witch's Brew.
He's got enough healing that he should be able to overcome whatever. Oh, it's a Grom!
There's the final card. Okay. That is a lot of damage.
So the saving the Hex pays off, and now Brushy does need to kill off his minion. Or
Yeah, I
can
think for
easily
sure
do.
we see the 3/3 trades first, and then the Hex comes down, followed by some heal potentially.
or
Hex
is it just
first.
Hex and Scheme, or maybe he attacks face, then hexes, and then schemes. I mean, there's a couple ways that Brushy can do this to be safe.
This is enough healing, I suppose, that it does also get him out of range of the ETC burst. And crucially, there's actually no remaining way for ETC to be damaged.
Right.
Without, a more creative play of giving it rush first with the first Broom and hitting in. Yeah, I'm right back to I don't think I see any way for Gkick to possibly win this game.
Yeah. Yeah, you just need a little more patience, which is hard, because this is not a good matchup, but it does require a little bit of creativity to figure out how you can create a winning condition out of what normally doesn't work. So right now you might just be waiting for Brushy to fatigue, but
little does he know that is never going to happen.
Well, the problem is, I guess.
Well, it can start happening. I guess you might be afraid to play a 7/7 into ETC combos.
Right. The problem that we again run into is that Gkick doesn't have a way to activate the ETC for
but
it.
Gkick's way further into fatigue, and he's also not doing anything to deal with this 3/3.
Right.
Tuna just never plays a card, and okay.
Just killed it. Yeah.
Interesting.
Because the other thing too is now Brushy could, in theory, play Elysiana and then torrent his own Elysiana, so it refills his deck and kills the minion also.
Okay, that's definitely what he must have been planning. He was waiting to activate that torrent for Elysiana. But can do it next turn.
Yeah, he can push it out another turn. That's not a problem.
Just never leave any minion on board to hit him. Yeah, Gkick recognizes that
there it is.
It's not happening, and there's the 3-1. Nicely done by BrushyTuna.
Yeah, the Control Shaman, the reps on the Control Shaman obviously shining through there for Brushy. We know he likes Control Shaman quite a bit, and knowing exactly what you have to do, in something that you guys touched on earlier in the game too, is just burning cards. A lot of players would just say that that's always a bad idea, but in this case you just don't care because you're denying your opponent's win condition there, and Brushy did a great job. So Brushy will move on to 2-2 this season. Gkick suffers his first loss to drop to 3-1, and that also, more importantly, gives Prep the lead now. It should be 9-6 if my math is correct, with the third match of the series now in the books. dare we get Brushy in here for an interview real quick since we have a little extra time between now and the second series?
Oh
No one better at
we
filling
gotta
time
talk
with
to
BS
Tuna.
than BrushyTuna.
Oh, he's already
Yeah,
he's already
Yeah, let's
messaging
bring him
in. Oh yeah, he wants the interview.
of course. It's always control shaman, he says.
Question is whether or not he turns on his cam and jacks up everything I've got going.
Oh, 100%. Why wouldn't he?
Hey, there he is, BrushyTuna. Congratulations on the win.
Thanks, man. Doing my best out here.
Yeah, what was going through your mind in that final game?
To be honest, my nephew was like throwing up and doing all kinds of crazy shit, so I was just paying attention to him.
Well, fortunately, you didn't have to pay close attention to the game because a lot of it was just pass. Hit him a
Yeah,
few
a lot of
times
it
with the
was-
minion, pass. Burn cart,
Yeah.
pass. Yeah.
Yep. Stop playing minions after turn 8. Win the game.
Yep. Makes sense. Certainly a far cry from the Demon Hunter versus Shaman that we saw in Game 3, where the game was over super quick, but nicely navigated through those games. It's got to feel good to redeem your terrible teammate Ron with a
Yeah, that guy
victory for
sucks.
prep on the week. Yep.
Not saying that. Yeah. They all want to say stuff. My
Oh,
face.
we got guest appearances coming on the mic here for the interview.
Actually, Eric Oki's here. You guys remember Eric Oki?
We do.
Nice.
Hello.
How's it going?
Yeah. I was actually over here playing Magic with my friends and family, and then I forgot I had this match and stole my buddy's laptop to play it.
Nice. The the discipline and organization we come to expect from you, BrushyTuna.
Yeah, of course.
Nice.
Yeah. You
Nice.
expect me to be ready for this? I don't know what you guys wanted.
Amazing. Well, lack of preparation notwithstanding, you could say that prep is for rogues, not pilots.
Pilots,
Tuna
correct.
goes ahead and takes a victory for the team that does put prep up in the series right now add 4, so 9-6 with 2 games remaining.
Yeah, thank goodness our captain's also picking up for that 2 seed of ours.
Hey, we got the same record, all right? Shut up.
Is Donde silent?
He's getting us ready for match 2, so he
Yeah, I figured-
entrusted Ron and I to
Yeah.
do some interviewing. So far,
You know-
it's going not as well as you could expect.
Yeah, I didn't expect Donde to be quiet after me, but I expected him to say something too.
I mean, you shut me up essentially with your win here tonight, so I don't know what I'm supposed to say other than congratulations.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
But Brushy, if we want to knock you down a peg, we gotta ask. Back in the game with the Soul Demon Hunter, where you were a split second away from just throwing out the skull and potentially missing lethal, what was going through your mind at that point?
Well, because that whole turn I was setting up, I was like, all right, I'm a Kane skull. Like, that's all I was thinking. I was like, this skull is going to be so nice. And then I was like, clicking the skull, and I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
This Chaos Strike's lethal.
I believe Ron
Hold
said
on.
exactly that when it was happening.
Also, I'm very disappointed in you that you didn't take the found you lethal.
Well, that's because I didn't see it.
But I mean, after you found it, you then attacked with Kane first, and I was like, come on, man.
Oh, there's just a little triggering wrong.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
man.
I was like, hold up, is he actually gonna miss this top deck lethal right now? He's just ripping this skull, no thought. Oh god. But yeah, worked out nicely for you.
Absolutely.
I honestly thought Donde wasn't saying anything because he was just sick to his stomach that you won.
No,
Which is
I
fair.
love Brushy. It was an impressive series for sure.
Yeah.
Said with no resentment.
Nice. Well, actually, Gkick is having a monster season. That loss notwithstanding, he was second in crossover player standings before that game. And Donde, you'll probably be happy to know that moves you to second over Gkick, who now drops to third.
All right then. I would say, Brushy, how do you feel about that now, knowing
There you go.
knowing that you inadvertently helped me out?
I should have taken the dive and just lost that.
Nice.
Well, Brushy, anything else you want to say here before we move on to our second match of the evening?
Yeah, good luck to Saku and good luck to Buse. I hope my 2 seed in Legacy starts doing some work like they are in Pro.
Nice. Would expect nothing less.
All
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Thanks for joining us, Tuna. Have a great night, buddy.
Yeah,
All right, take care, Tuna.
Night.
All right, so let me go ahead and switch us on over to our second match, which is a hero match, and that is, of course, Last Hero Standing instead of Conquest. So slightly different feel here, and we've got Saku of Dark Side of Cthulhu versus Doctorfeesh of Servants of Yogg'Saron. So these are 2 teams in the Orange Conference. Both teams needing this win this week, as they're in a situation here where ATL is just absolutely on fire. They're 4-0 and crushing everybody in this conference. Tonk Fear Corny in second place with a little bit of separation, and then it's kind of muddled after that. So both teams in here, and right now, Servants of Yogg'Saron up 4-1, with this being the second match of the series. Dark Side of Cthulhu hoping to even up the score. So we're looking at Paladin, Rogue, Shaman, Warrior for Saku versus Demon Hunter, Rogue, Warlock, Warrior for Feesh. So Icicles, I will not steal your thunder this time. What do you think the ban will be?
Looking at Feesh's lineup, it wouldn't shock me to see him ban the Warrior. I think he's got answers for every other deck here. I think Warrior's the one that could kind of put the hurt on him all the way through. And from Saku's side, don't expect him banning Warrior or Demon Hunter. It more likely is going to be, I would say, the Rogue, probably. So I think we'll have something similar to what we had in a Legacy match with a Rogue ban on one side and a Warrior ban on the other. So that's kind of what I'm thinking looking at these classes.
How about you, Ron?
I gotta say, I completely agree with Icicles here. I was looking at the lineups, and Saku with Paladin in his lineup especially, I think would want to protect that Paladin as much as possible and ban the Rogue. Its absolute worst matchup. That would be maybe the only difference I could see from Feesh is banning Paladin if he doesn't ban Warrior, but I think it's still very likely just to see the Warrior get banned from Feesh. It is a little bit stronger, I think, in overall power level and a little bit more concerning with the flexibility of the different archetypes you can bring, rather than Paladin, which you kind of know going in is really going to be one of 2 things. It's either Broom or Pure, and given it's Saku, I'd maybe expect to see Pure, and Feesh might be expecting that, so Warrior ban sounds like it makes a lot of sense.
All right, so this actually ends up being a pretty interesting scenario here where you're entirely correct about the Warrior ban. Saku's Warrior is not going to be played here. However, the Rogue ban is not what happened for Saku. He's going to be banning Doctorfeesh's Demon Hunter.
Oh, interesting.
Ooh.
Okay.
And I will say, Saku had wanted to ban the Rogue initially, and I talked him into the Demon Hunter. So I kind of stole this win from the 2 of you a little bit.
What was your thought process on getting rid of the Demon Hunter with Paladin and Warrior in the lineup?
Okay, so this ends up being a little bit inside info, I guess. We're always in Hero looking at what is the chance I get swept by any particular deck in the lineup. And, when he was looking at the chart, there was a little bit of spottiness all over that you could say, all right, if I ban incorrectly or they ban something I'm not expecting, I could be opening myself up. So we were trying to predict what the ban would be and then counter ban on top of that. So we predicted the Warrior, or we actually predicted the Rogue to be banned, I believe, and it wouldn't then kind of base the ban off of that. So the prediction was incorrect.
Gotcha.
Which has kind of left us where we are now. So.
Yeah.
So that's
be
peeling back the curtain a little bit.
Trying to predict another team's ban, because like you said, if that goes wrong, then all of a sudden you find yourself in a really awkward position. But we'll see how it plays out. Because I think Demon Hunter is a pretty reasonable ban. I think it has a couple different variants that even in against classes that you'd think would be unfavored, it can pull out some pretty ridiculous stuff, like why it's still Demon Hunter against Paladin and Warriors, and necessarily a lost cause. So there's merit to it. So. Yeah, don't blame you for thinking it through in that context.
Well, I'm perfectly happy to wear the collar here if it goes horribly wrong.
You are the captain, so it is good for you to take responsibility.
I know, especially considering I'm the guy who got us off to the 4-1 deficit in a loss to Neji Boston last night. It went very poorly for me. Do you say you appreciate that?
No, I said no shame in that.
Yeah,
Oh.
there's absolutely no shame.
I
in
thought you
losing
said
to
I
Neji.
appreciate that. I was like, wow,
no.
that's like the harshest Icicles can be.
Neji's
Yeah, no.
an insane player.
Yeah, he was phenomenal. I mean, without giving away any decks, of course. Accurately predicted one of the decks he would bring. He ripped it out in game 1 and said he did not care about my knowledge and beat me 2 games with it. So that was
Nice.
when you plan and you prep and it hits and you still don't win. It is what it is. He's a phenomenal player. It wasn't a surprise to lose to him at all.
That's what you got teammates for. Pick you up, carry you when you're down. So we'll see how Saku does for you tonight.
Hopefully, I'm going to let them know that they're ready to go.
Sweet.
All
Who's
right.
on top? Who's on bottom?
We will have Saku on the bottom, Doctorfeesh on the top. And it seemed only right that a doctor should be on the top of the screen, right? You know, it's more advanced degree.
Then Saku.
I mean, I just assume Saku doesn't have a doctorate. I don't know.
How dare you assume that Saku doesn't have a doctorate?
You know what they say when you assume, Donde?
I hope I'm not going to fall into that camp tonight. Chad is just getting the interview, talking with Tuna. What a misplay. Very true. Very true.
It's so far our worst misplay of the night. Talking to BrushyTuna.
And we got to briefly talk to Eric Oki, which is, I guess, like the cooler part of it.
Yeah, that's true. Kind of bounces out a little bit. What do you think we're going to see for leads from these players here? Well, I mean, Donde might have insider information
I do.
on what Saku's leading. But for Doctorfeesh, you think he's surprised by the Demon Hunter? You think he just goes rogue?
Yeah, I think so. I think Rogue's pretty safe. I mean, there's a chance that you might want to save it for a specific matchup, but at the same time, I feel like you're confident in that Rogue beating just about anything here. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he lead Rogue and Saku maybe lead Warrior. No, it's Warrior's band, excuse me. Maybe Rogue with his own. Put that Demon Hunter out of the way. So.
I would not at all be surprised by Rogue Mirror here.
Was informed that Feesh had just stepped away to get a drink real quick, so that's what we're waiting on is his return, and then the game will get going.
Someone redeemed the hydration Twitch points. Yeesh.
I mean, they'll do it 10 minutes in the future. Maybe.
I was just about to do it, and then I realized, wait, this is going to make no sense if I do it right now. Do we even have a hydration?
Game is up. I don't think we do. I think Ron does.
Yeah, no. I deleted mine.
Because you got overhydrated. You got drowned.
My chat could not handle it responsibly, so I took it away. All credit to Fusho and Chewbacca, the main abusers. All right, looks like they have lined up the game. Saku is, in fact, leading with the Rogue, and Doctorfeesh is leading off with Warrior. We see a Broom in Feesh's opening mull, so almost certainly going to be some kind of ETC with the Quartermaster here and a shield block. I would expect this is just a straight-up control ETC.
We saw a Coerce as well that he threw back in his opening hand, so yeah, this is going to be more control version than what we saw with the Enrage from Gkick. So a lot of draw from Feesh, not too bad. Once you get a weapon online, those cutting classes are going to be monsters for him. So.
Yeah, and really nice setup for Saku here. I was thinking maybe we'd go Coin, Foxy, Miscreant. Still has the option to do that.
I think he's deciding which Miscreant he wants to play, or he's going with the One Thief.
One Thief
so
instead.
Down a little bit. Probably want the Arcane Breath just to have. Well, I take that back. No, I guess a Warrior that I guess you don't know what you're dealing with. You're not gonna have much. I think that could. I'm gonna repeat myself. So a Dragon Breath makes a lot of sense. You're likely to get a Dragon Lackey. Not likely, but possible to get a Dragon Lackey off the Miscreant to activate it. But
and cheap and like minimal damage, I think, is good. Mirror, probably the second best choice out of those. Could potentially pay off as well.
Yeah, it's one of those that he's not going to know. Doctorfeesh is not going to know what that secret is, of course, and it could result in some suboptimal play, just to try and play around the possibilities of what it is. So, when in doubt, a secret is rarely a terrible, terrible choice, just because it represents not only one card, but the possibility of up to like 6 or 7 cards.
You never know when you might be able to snag a Rattlegore.
Oh, there's the Draconic Lackey.
Oh, but there is that Draconic Lackey. Probably a little bit disappointing for Saku. He may have been more incentivized to actually take the Arcane Breath if he had already known that he was holding a Lackey. Goes to the Brain Freeze here, pushes 1 damage with the Wand Thief and 3 more with the Foxy. Looking pretty reasonably good from Saku's side of things.
Yeah, but it's not too much pressure either from Feesh's perspective that he could just shield block here, see what he gets, and then
Yeah,
next
Feesh's
turn-
hand is unfortunate. He wants the weapon for cutting class, so he's got to lead draw and armor.
The Brawl's a pretty good pickup also, so if Saku goes any wider here, wouldn't be surprised to see him drop it on 5. He also has the option to wait to turn 5 when it's likely that Saku will be playing a Jandis as well. He wants to be patient with it. We'll see what he draws, because, I mean, next turn, right now, he's just looking at just playing a full class, cutting class, which is not super great.
No.
But I don't think he has the value from
Yeah, Saku finds one of the worst possible minions from Pharaoh Cat. Although he looks like he really wants
I was
to
gonna
play
say,
it.
hear me out though. Might be the
Might
turn to
well
play
play
it.
it.
Yeah,
I think
knowing the
so.
Brawl.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Brawl or not, I think at this point, this is the point you play, because the Warrior isn't going to be able to take advantage of it the way a lot of classes are. Because they either have expensive removals or combo pieces that, yes, you could theoretically be opening them up for a combo early, but not this early. I think this is the only time
Alex,
to play it.
Draconic Lackey, really good options, all 3 of these.
Right, I can see a case for any of these.
Yeah. The nice thing is there's not really a wrong choice, just whatever the preference might be, and Saku wants to go with the evasive.
Completely reasonable option. It's really hard for Warded to deal with outside of Blade Storm or Barrow, so maybe not that difficult to deal with. I do like the option of the 6 mana, because your curve right now is looking like Jandis and then something, and that 6 mana dragon is really tough for Warriors to deal with.
Yeah, that was the stickiest minion as well, which is often really, really good against Warrior. But Saku presenting a board that is asking to be brawled with a Jandis Barov follow-up, which is always a pretty nice option for Rogue here. Let's see what Feesh decides to do with his numerous options. Bulwark feels terrible, as do most other things in hand.
Yeah, I think honestly, like the best option for trying to win this game is playing Cutting Class here. You can take this amount of damage. You've got tools to build back up your armor. This board is not super threatening with only 8 attack on it, and you want to try to bait maybe a little bit more out from Saku before you play this Brawl.
Yep, so Feesh, of course, just trying to draw him in a little bit further, try to overextend more into the Brawl. On the other hand, for Saku, wouldn't even want to play J-Bar here with only
No,
one
definitely
summon.
not. I can see either going with the Mirror Entity Eviscerate or the Generous Mummy Eviscerate, because Mirror Entity obviously gives you the possibility of blocking a Brawl with it being a counterspell. But we talked about Generous Mummy last turn, and I think that might still be a reasonable take here.
I think at this point, the fact that Saku didn't play it last turn, it doesn't seem like he's going to play it this turn. I don't think he's going to play it this game. Unless he just gets to a point where he has nothing else to do. Like way
Yeah,
later.
this Generous Mummy might come down super late, if at all.
I think at this point, I think Saku has in his mind that Generous Mummy is a bad card, and he should not play it. And so I just don't think he's going to play it.
Which in general is not a wrong thought, but yes,
right.
context-wise in this situation, it's slightly less terrible. I would say.
No, I don't blame him for not playing it. It's
yeah.
almost always correct not to play it. So.
And a 1/1 lives.
And the worst possible minion survives the
Master.
Brawl.
So at this point, Saku has some cards that he can use to kind of go off with that World Kick. Not maybe not something you want to do this turn, because you do have other options. But that plus Brain Freeze plus the Eviscerate, like there can be some value to be had.
Yeah, this
And
turn
seeing the
feels-
Brawl come down makes so much sense to just see Jandis Barov
Jandis.
get played.
Mhm. Exactly. Janus plus a
I
spell
agree.
Lackey, potentially.
Oh, no, he wants to go
Saku
this turn.
going combo. Gonna Brain Freeze the 1/1 or Vis the face?
Could probably be Eviscerate.
I would have liked to Eviscerate
Yeah.
first, though, in case you get a Cold Blood, but he did not.
Okay. Going with single combo, maybe searching for a combo card here.
Head Crack, but not
That is
playable.
a combo card. Not
Okay,
playable
right,
this
reasonable.
turn, but it is infinite damage.
Do you take Scheme and maybe you have something like a Jandis Scheme turn?
Really interesting options. Goes with Vendetta. It is active in hand because of the mirror entity.
Right.
Yeah.
Shout out to
So
A-Mage 10
0
for
mana
hitting
for
Legend.
damage. Nice.
So once again, nothing really threatening Fish to do anything, but at the same time, he's got a full hand, and nothing he really wants to play. Pinflinger plus, I guess, a Shield Slam on the 1/2 makes the most sense, just to do stuff and use your mana. Actually, you really want to kill this World Kick Master. So
Oh, wait. Okay, he did armor up first. The card seemed like it was coming out too quick.
I think I think we can give our THL competitors the benefit of the doubt on making that play correctly. Just like the animations. No, I think I saw the same thing you saw, but
It's always scary though, regardless.
I know,
Even
yeah.
though I trust.
The spectator perspective is fraught with peril for sure.
Yeah. Another awkward turn for Fish, but not under a lot of pressure. Just getting one card out is enough to not burn. Saku, tons of options here. Still has the J-Bar available. Has the evasive Draconid now available to be played on this turn.
That's what
And, of
Yeah.
course, more damage represented by Scimitar if he likes.
I like the Draconid just because it's protected from Bladestorm.
yeah,
Because
the other option here
that
looked
1/1.
like he's playing that first to play Scimitar just to push more damage.
If that was the plan, I would have liked
Icicles,
attacking
yeah.
with the with the weapon last turn, but you know.
Sometimes you think one turn at a time, and what makes sense then, changes the next time you're up again. Situations change, but probably fill out his curve Mirror Entity here. I think I want to play Mirror Entity going into a Warrior's 9-minute turn, so they want to
Sure.
slam Rattle Lord down.
I'm so
get it right
excited
back.
to see Mirror Entity get played next turn by Saku here. So he floats mana again, just pushes a little bit more damage. Fish now sitting at a somewhat unsettling 14 health. And a handful of cards. He's got to do something.
Ankar's the play here. But if he swings with that, that's going to pack his hand once more. He will swing.
If he draws Skipper, he's happy. If he draws the Sword Eater, which he does, probably much less happy.
I believe upset would be the terminology that most would use.
Yeah, fair. I do like saying less happy, though.
Sure.
Fewer happy.
Why say lot
Fewer.
word when fewer do trick? Flinger to hand. So they're in space now, and Fish is going into that Rattlegore turn, and we will see if Saku's patience on the Mirror Entity pays off. See, I don't like playing it just right out of the gate. Like, play that J-Bar first, and then the secret. It feels like that's your plan the whole time.
Yeah, he's been waiting on this to bait the Rattlegore. It might be a little bit telegraphed here.
Oh. Those are some interesting. Yeah, those are interesting pickups. You can put the Adept behind the 2/6 if you want to, or you can drop the 2/6 down to 2/1 and have it an easier time for it to, kill a minion here. But Shadow Step and J-Bar is always a good decision. Well, I shouldn't say always,
really nice.
But most of the time, very, very good.
More often than not, you're pretty happy to Shadow Step that minion, and I don't think that Doctorfeesh is going to take the bait here. And just slam Rattlegore on the board.
Yeah.
There's too much damage on the board anyway.
Yeah, he's likely... Well, drawing the Skipper, I think, kind of decides this turn for him. Even if the 2/6 has the illusion, which it does not.
True.
Which is actually pretty beneficial for Fish here in this position. Now I can Armor Smith and Bloodsworn and build up a whole ton of armor. He might opt to hold the Bloodsworn, thinking that he needs to keep it as part of a future ETC combo, which seems to be his reasoning right now. And then playing the Taunt Lackey to ensure that he gets an extra tick off of this Skipper, And then the Sword Eater, it allows
Also
them to kill
enables,
for 2/3.
yeah, killing this convincing infiltrator. We'll see where the infiltrator to death rattle goes. The highest statted one.
Amazing.
Now that
Sucks,
Vendetta
big
is offline. Well, offline,
It
it's not free, I should say, but
Right.
it would be much more beneficial for that questing adventure for it to have been a free card.
So this could be a questing turn potentially. You have a Brain Freeze, you have a Secret Passage, a couple ways to fuel it. You can even play J-Bar again and save the Secret
Yeah.
Passage.
I mean, the way I see it is probably questing J-Bar, Brain Freeze, Weapon. Saku sees it
Saku
differently,
favors
however.
the Draconid here. Looks like he wants to play that Brain Freeze. Is he going with the Skipper as a target or the Armor Gain as a target? And goes Skipper.
Yeah, I think Skipper's the right move there.
Oh wow, big pickup by
Oh,
Fish.
yeah, that's right on time.
Yeah, Fish definitely should be fairly happy with this pickup. Enables just a pretty easy clear of the 7/7 with the 1/1 or with the Penflinger if he chose.
And since you want a cutting class here, it makes sense to preserve the life on your 1/1 as well.
Yeah, the 1/1 of course represents armor gain as well.
Even off the Penflinger again if you wanted. I don't know what other weapons he has in his deck. He's already drawn Ankar and Bulwark. That's usually the two weapons that this deck would run. So that Corsair Cash might just be 2 mana, return Penflinger to your hand. So I'll just
Yeah.
armor up and save it for now.
Plunderer
Right,
picked
Saku
up.
hitting a decision point really quickly here. There's only 11 cards left in Fish's deck. He should know by the Penflinger that he is up against ETC. And ETC's just looking to assemble that combo and have minions on board to hit him. So Saku's either got to kill him quick or dodge this. Leads questing, wants to go passage, and he does.
Pharaoh Cat, prep. There's the Whirl Kick, but Swindle. So there's a little bit of a generator now here between Whirl
Okay.
Kick, prep, and Swindle. That's a pretty good start.
Playing everything here.
Oh, of course. Yeah, I think I would have started with the Whirl Kick, but in a Wrapped Golem, not an ideal pickup off of the Pharaoh Cat, at least not for this turn.
At least it's not another generous mummy.
True. At a point, you just gotta stop being generous.
Oh.
Second Swindle.
Swindle.
There's the Prize Plunderer. He can use that to get rid of the board here for Fish, but yeah, let's go with Swindle. No, gonna go with the Swindle instead. Could have gone with the Ringleader too.
Yeah, I think Swindle's okay.
It just draws more cards that stay
Yeah, his
in the
hand's full
hand
now. I was gonna say his
for the
hand is
next
full
turn, but
now.
yeah. Did cost himself burning a card. Probably not a whole lot left in the deck that you really are that upset about burning at this point, but there are a few.
So another questing Edwin, I think, would be two of the big ones.
Any burn? I don't think we've seen both Eviscerates played yet.
Correct. We've seen one Eviscerate to this point. One of those cards generated too is Shadow Sculptor, not a card that we see very often. Draw a card for each card you've played this turn. That's not very helpful in this situation either.
And there's the Rattlegore. It dodged the mirror entity, safe to come down, kills the questing, stays as an 8/8, and that is another one of the worst possible burns for Saku, especially at this point. A Wand Thief could have given him a polymorph or devolving missiles to help deal with this Rattlegore. See what's in the J-Bar box. Not great.
At this point, Saku is essentially on a clock now and needs to throw as much damage as he can at Fish's face and hope he gets there, or this Rattlecore kills him. The Wrapped Golem maybe helps a little bit, but it's unlikely, especially knowing that Penflinger's in hand, that 1/1's going to really slow down Fish too much at this point.
Yeah, I think sticking the Rattlegore here looks like the point in the game where Fish likely has stabilized and has set up a pretty nice way to close out this game. After trailing for the majority of the game here, Saku just doesn't have enough pressure for this 21 armor, including, you know, a bulwark that Feesh can play, copying a Rattlegore as well. There's a whole lot Feesh is able to do to just really wreck Saku's chances.
He does need to figure out a little bit of what to do here. I guess the course is a huge pickup now because it lets him kill a couple things. So, you know, being able to kill a 6/5, kill off this taunt, run Rattlegore into the 7/5, Pinflinger, the resulting minion. There's a lot that he can do here to get this board pretty much cleaned up.
And with Corsair Cash, still has the mana to bounce the Penflinger back into the hand or Battle Rage, either way. One is a bounce, the other one is a bounce and draw 3 cards.
Feels pretty good to do it that way. 2 Rattlegore on the board.
Yeah, and considering that he still has not drawn the ETC, definitely happy about going with card draw here to get closer to that combo. Saku in a real bad spot.
I guess
Yeah.
maybe Secret Passage here to try and find your second Shadow Step. You're looking for a Hail Mary at this point, essentially.
Yeah, other than just like full aggression, like throw everything face and pray, I don't think there's a real line that Saku can take given the stage of the game where it has reached.
Care to make a wager, friend?
It's going to swindle first. Finds a backstab. And a questing.
Okay, well, he can charge up questing again, but there is 15 power in those 2 Rattlegores, so questing's basically always going to die.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it just soaks 1 hit.
Yeah, soft taunt essential at this point, yeah. Gonna go ahead and take care of the larger half of the Rattlegore. Runs out of time.
Tactical error.
Yeah, I think Saku recognizing the mistake there, clearing an 8 power minion down to a 7 power minion really doesn't do much for your chances at winning this game. And I think Feesh has all but got it locked up. Now just going to draw and look for ETC maybe to finish things off.
Risky Skipper is not that ETC. So sitting in the bottom 4 cards.
Unless Feesh forgot to put ETC in the deck.
Sometimes they're at the very, very bottom. So I think both of these go face, then follow up by Brawl. Because it doesn't matter too much. I think the only thing you may be worried about is the questing living. So he decides just to kill it and 7 more damage face.
You do know what it's called when you forget to put ETC in the deck, right?
Oh, what is that called?
Control Warrior.
Ah, nice. Just full control.
Just control, that's all we are.
The win con is Rattlegore.
I mean, quite honestly, it happens a lot as an ETC anyway, you know? It just comes down to becoming Control Warrior, so, yeah.
True. Alright, so Feesh digging.
He's gonna fill
Is
his hand
ETC
in.
actually
Literally
the last
card 30.
Oh,
Oh, and he's going to burn
and
it.
Feesh is going to burn it.
It's
I
not-
mean, it's,
he's
yeah.
Still not going to matter.
But-
Let's be
Rattlegore
honest, but yeah.
That is pretty amusing, though. We do see Feesh has so many other ways to win with the cards in his hand and those 2 Rattlegores on board, unless Saku found some kind of discovery miracle to transform the Rattlegores.
I believe that would be
There
called
shouldn't
Plague of
really
Death.
be anyway.
His option for that
Or
was unfortunately
or
burned
Silence
off.
and Destroy. I don't think Rogue has a way of generating that, though.
Priest finds a way, man. Priest finds a way.
The where Saku option for doing that was when he lost the other one thief, because that could have been puzzle box in any number of different missions.
Yes.
So,
Well,
and there is the ETC burn. Fortunately for Doctorfeesh, it should not matter, as he can continue to just send damage.
I mean, you could even copy this Rattlegore again. Get
Yeah,
another
at this
one out
point
there.
you want to Penflinger your Rattlegore and just put a Mrgl on it. probably use a broom to clear up the rest of the board so that all of your damage can go face. Feesh considering a skipper, another way to damage Rattlegore. Gains a lot of
More armor.
with the
Yep.
Armor Smith.
Perfectly fine decision, I think.
Your flaws are your strength.
Yeah, actually probably the better line, given just how much armor he gains here. Ultimately, I think pretty irrelevant. There are 3 6/4 Rattlegores that when they die become 5/5s, and he's at 38 health with a weapon that blocks every point of damage from incoming for the first 4 times.
There's
This
a
game
generous
is beyond over.
Feesh could conceivably fall onto the button that plays Brawl and then end turn for the next 6 turns. That would be the only way.
All right, so there it is, game 1 in the books. Doctorfeesh picking up a Rattlegorin win against Saku here. The Warrior gets through with the victory and stays up being Hero Series. Saku's Rogue is now eliminated and cannot come back.
Now the question becomes between the Paladin and Shaman, what is the best option, knowing full well what your opponent's deck is at this point. You've seen all 30 cards.
Most likely the Paladin.
Most likely the Paladin. Sounds correct.
Stats-wise, yeah, I believe Paladin should be the most favored here.
Now,
Given
granted,
Saku's other classes, Shaman.
if Saku brought the same Shaman as Brushy, we did see that Shaman basically swat away an ETC Warrior. So that is a possibility. I don't know if that's the deck that Saku has in his lineup, but you know, if that were the case, then that would make a lot of sense as well.
Are the people going to see another ETC Warrior versus Control Shaman match tonight? Can the people handle? Can our viewer count handle that?
I strongly doubt that this is going to happen. Oh, it is a Shaman though. Okay, did I speak too soon? What's the Shaman going to be?
You did, because I actually clicked.
That's a Sea Giant.
I clicked Paladin on the hopes that I was correct as the next, and I had to fix that.
It looks like an Evolved Shaman here from Saku.
Yeah, so perfectly reasonable choice. Evolved Shaman, at least pre-nerf, was fairly favored against all warriors. Might have lost a little bit of power with that nerf, but still in, I think, a reasonable spot against an ETC warrior.
The other thing too is that it's likely that you're not seeing Sticky Fingers either, because Evolved Shaman is no longer the threat that it was. That particular card that was the answer to Evolved Shaman is no longer being run, so it makes, even though Evolved Shaman lost power in the nerf, it may gain a little bit back in the no longer prevalent use of Sticky Fingers.
True.
That's true.
And Saku's seen basically every card that Feesh runs, with the exception of well, maybe like 7 or 8 of them.
Right. And I mean, you could have a reasonable expectation of what those 7 were if you're paying attention to the list, knowing, you know, which cards he didn't play duplicates of, like he only played 1 Brawl, for example. So you can kind of piece it together if you're paying attention there. And having that Bogspine Knuckles in hand for this next turn is very, very important.
Yeah.
Oh, huge for sure.
Because it doesn't look like Feesh is going to be able to clear any of this board at all. And he's not holding a Brawl. So.
Yeah, no coin Brawl available yet, which means Feesh most likely wants to dig for that with the shield block. Likely wouldn't want to play this Quartermaster just to put another minion on the board and give Shaman a way to discount more. Does decide to go Quartermaster though.
Pitmaster, a good pickup here because that'll be active this following turn after the Lightning Bloom, and he'll have exactly enough mana to play it.
Absolutely, really nice draws for Saku over turns, and here come the Nux. Then we hit him with the Nux, and we see what the Evolves turn into. Debating face or minion.
Minion appears to be the correct move, and it's going to be... Oh, that's actually not a bad roll. Quite a few decent minions for their mana cost.
Yeah, and most importantly, on Doctorfeesh's side, no top-decked Brawl. Going to be pretty difficult to clear up this pressure that's incoming.
Yeah, you'll probably see the other Quartermaster here, plus the Rush Lackey to take out one of these minions. Most likely the Zephyrus, I would say. He's the only one he can really kill.
Draconic Lackey not going to help too much, but yeah, here's the Goblin Lackey. Another Lightning Bloom. Now the question becomes, do you rather Lightning Bloom Derailed Coaster for extra minions? Or I think the Pitmaster is still the better choice here.
Yeah, I like Pitmaster as well. I think that's you can save the Lightning Bloom for
Yeah.
bigger use of it.
You could Novice Engineer as well and then Pitmaster if you really, really want to.
Sure. You can do that.
Interesting. Saku favoring draw, it looks like, considering that Novice Engineer. Also has a pretty nice value trade with a 1/5 into a 1/1 pre-evolve.
No, I think
Does he have the read of the lack of Brawl? Obviously, Coin Brawl was an option last turn for Feesh, and didn't see it, so we're going to see that Pitmaster come out. All the face.
And Saku, no respect for the Goblin Lackey. Pushing full face. Here we go. More balls.
Oh, a rush!
You always get a rush.
It worked
and
out.
And takes out the Goblin Lackey.
And
full board clear.
Barov,
massive pickup for Doctorfeesh.
but no way to activate it though. No, if he
Yeah,
had the
he's,
rush minion from last turn.
Yeah, Battle Rage for 1. Hope he gets the broom so he can coin it. But
yeah, I mean,
great.
it's basically the only play. You could block some of the damage with the Bulwark, potentially. Bulwark, coin, Barov, would that... I don't think that actually could save you, though.
It would save you this turn.
You're looking at 7 as max damage. Go down to 7.
Oh, the second Bog Spine draw right on time.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty massive for Saku here. Picks up the other one. Should attack with the 2 power, the 2 power, the 3 power, the 3 power. Send 7. Send the weapon.
Well, I guess it doesn't matter which order you do it in as long as you get a 3 and a 4 to face.
As long as those 2 powers hit first and the 4 attacks last. And there it is. Saku's gonna push max damage.
Will there be a charge, a Korkron, or something of the kind?
Bombs coming.
Oh, there's 2!
Wow.
Oh my goodness!
Saku
wow!
throwing out there, and yeah, sometimes Shaman still just doing crazy things, and Feesh, you know, getting blown out of that one just due to Bog Spine Knuckles nonsense. So the ETC Warrior now eliminated, the series tied up at 1-1, and Saku's Evolved Shaman will stay up.
I want to know who's the first person to clip that and send it to Heart Center this week.
Nice.
Smooth plug for you.
Certainly an early contender to be featured.
We've got Rogue and Warlock as the options for Feesh now. Without knowing what those archetypes are, there are a couple options. I think Aggro Rogue would be well suited against this Evolved Shaman if he has it, and Galakrond Warlock seemed to handle okay against the Evolved Shaman, but that usually was off the back of a Cabal Sticky Finger, which, as we discussed earlier, might not be in the deck anymore. Evolved Shaman, or Zoo against Evolved Shaman can be pretty volatile depending on the starts for either player, so it'll be interesting to see what Feesh decides to go with here for Game 3.
Well, we are about to find out. We're going to see that Warlock.
So Warlock it is. It's a Galakrond. And wow, if we ever had any doubts about this archetype, there's 3 Galakrond Invoke cards.
Tosses some back, gets 2 Devoted Maniacs, and that paired up with the Sacrificial Pact is not a bad little combo to have here, as you can hopefully get past some of this mid-game for the... Well, mid-game for you, end-game for the Shaman.
It'll be interesting to see if Feesh is still running Sticky Fingers or not in this list. If not, I think that the Evolved Shaman is probably going to be favored here, assuming he can find a weapon.
Some
Definitely
aggressive
makes a
choices.
big difference. Saku offered a lot of expensive dragons, so take the cheapest one. Makes sense.
Makes sense to me as well. Probably going to have to see that Bogstraw Clacker come down next turn. Not a whole lot of other options. Still no weapon either for the Shaman. Meanwhile, Feesh is taking it slow, gathering some resources at this point. Oh, you want to attack first if you're going to use that Bogstraw.
All right, there goes the Clacker. Here comes some evolves.
Oh, and it's a minion that can't attack.
Yikes.
It's-
The Ancient Watcher, but hey, it's hard to remove. Easy play
It
around
sure
Dark
is.
Skies.
That's true. Oh, every time I see Ancient Watcher pop up randomly, all I can think of is Priest, of course, with its inner fire combo, which I think probably felt the worst to lose to. And yeah,
I remember those days.
I mean, they were not
So
good
Dark
days.
Skies does come down, and look at that. Ancient Watcher flexing its power here, surviving the Dark
Yes.
Skies due to that high health. I
Most
gotta say,
likely
I was a
outcome.
little bit sad we didn't see Cho, though. I was hoping for Cho with two mana evolves.
You're a terrible person, Ron.
We saw 4 of them in a recent cast. Racy versus...
Oh my goodness.
The other guy won.
No, Fish, no.
Who did Racy play?
I couldn't tell you. But yeah, so Fish opts to kill the Watcher, expecting the evolve coming down. I would have liked to value trade on Totem.
Oh, German Chef. It was
personally.
German Chef versus Racy, and Racy actually evolved into Cho 4 separate times. It was absurd.
Pretty great. So no weapon yet for Saku, so that does point to the one weakness of all Shaman always had is when you're so reliant on 2 cards.
There it is.
There it is. So Sticky Finger is still an option for Fish, so especially with Saku not having a weapon yet, this could be pretty big for Fish here, so you might get rewarded for queuing up this particular deck.
Back-to-back Devoted Maniac turns for Fish, puts that Galakrond at 2. Still no Galakrond in hand yet, but well on its way now with that Veiled Worshipper being active.
Mm-hmm.
Using the broom now.
Yeah.
Really just wants to
I
make sure
don't
that there's
mind
nothing
this.
on board for Evolve
Right.
purposes, yeah.
Yeah. I think
Well, there.
the one thing that you could have maybe made the case for is getting the Spirit Jailer out instead. The broom is going to be useful all game, and Spirit Jailer, you're looking at a Milicia coming up soon that you want to get some fragments into your deck for.
So Custodian, of course, drawing that Knuckles, and Saku's going to get some bad news very soon with the Sticky Finger being picked up in Fish's hand that he's not really going to have any way to evolve much and get the payoffs.
Another very
yeah.
liberal
I
broom
was gonna
usage for
say.
Saku.
Yeah, very liberal use, and especially with, if you're going to bump something, use that Cage Match Custodian to keep 2 minions alive, but Fish will just start churning through this deck.
Yeah, it's interesting he opted to play the Jailer before the Worshipper. I think it's probably fine. Getting that little extra healing would be good, but less likely that you're going to have the option to play Militia next turn if you happen to draw one of your fragments. So.
Evasive Worm the play here instead of the Bogspine Knuckles, which Fish is fully aware is in the hand at this point, thanks to the Match Custodian the turn before.
Yeah, I think from Saku's perspective, he wants to play the Bogspine along with the Pitmaster on the same turn, so he didn't really have anything
Makes
to follow
sense.
the Bogspine on that turn. Lisa here is pretty good for Fish. Cleans up this board nicely, leaves you with a 5/5 and a 3/1, as well as your Spirit Jailer, so I think that's a pretty clear play.
Especially holding the Twisting Nether as well as the other card that you realistically would want to wait to corrupt Ticketus once you find it.
Yeah.
Militia, very nice here to clear up the board.
It does get the Corrupt Tick on the Cascading Disaster as well, so.
Lightning Bloom doesn't really change anything for Saku's play. More likely just going to be held back. Wouldn't feel all that great to evolve just a Totem.
Yeah, I think the one option
Or
you would
Broom.
have then potentially is with playing the Broom after you get the
You
Evolve.
might want to bloom out the Broom to clear up the board depending on evolves from Pitmaster True.
I wouldn't commit to it though. I'd wait and see what you evolve into first before playing the Bloom out.
Saku wants to bloom.
He's gonna bloom.
Here comes Pitmaster.
So if you're doing that and you're kind of committing to it, then I guess you're gonna Totem. Okay, fair enough. So just the one extra.
You
minion
just
on the
wanted
board.
the extra one. Always Cho. Here we go.
I think going face here is a little ambitious as well. I might want to clear off, in this case, the 3/1, just to make it more likely that more of your minions will stick around.
Saku
Must have
does
heard ya.
reconsider. Clears the minion. No Cho. Disappointing. And these minions are fairly underwhelming on Saku's side of the board. We of course see the sticky finger in Doctorfeesh's hand. He's also holding coin, which does enable
Cascading
basically
as well.
a very easy full clear with coin cascading.
Yeah, I definitely want to see Sticky here, 100%.
Yeah, if
Feesh
you're
now
not going to play it
shield.
now, this is I don't know what it's sitting in your deck for.
But
Yeah, I think the instinct is, you know, you want to taunt because you want to protect yourself, but you're just really missing an opportunity to basically take the shaman's
Wow.
communication off entirely.
and the cascading, really nice.
You're always getting 3 kills off of it, so you basically got to pick.
But I mean, Feesh without actually trading first. He
He
traded
traded
at
first.
the end,
Gotcha.
and the cascading did hit the 3 best possible targets. Really nice RNG from Feesh there. We'll see Saku swinging, probably playing Broom after the evolves to switch this board state around.
Ooh, Dragon
Yeah, I
Bane.
think-
Dragonbane.
He's really going to get punished for not playing the Sticky there because of the Port Pillager coming back the next turn.
Right, with Horde
Yep.
Pillager in hand, that's great news for Saku. I mean, you still can steal the next weapon, which will mitigate a little bit for Feesh, but yeah, you would really, really rather have that be, be not revivable by the Horde Pillager, so to speak. And again,
Yeah.
with the trades for Saku there, I would like keeping the 1/1 alive if you can, since you have the rush on all of your minions.
Right, did lose 1 board space to make a Plague of Flames clear a little bit easier now for Doctorfeesh, which looks like should be the play here.
Right, that's the other thing you want to play around a little bit.
Would have been possible anyway, but could have
Twisting Nether
forced
and all,
the
but yeah.
Broomstick to be played, or just forced out the Nether to come down sooner.
Indeed.
So I think, despite the non-use of the Sticky Fingers, we'll see how much it has an impact, but the Warlock just has, at this point, so many answers, still holding Nether, potentially able to get Yogg'Saron whenever he wants. Just a tough spot for Saku, even with this Sword Pillager coming down.
Saku,
a
though,
pretty
really
massive
nice
evolve.
top decks over the last couple turns. Basically exactly what he'd want to see in Desert Hare, and then the Derailed Coaster, just
Yeah, I
giving
answered
him
this as well.
additional boards.
Yeah.
If Nether's not played here, perhaps a Fireheart into something like Bloodlust could just be lethal.
No, I think we definitely see the twisting here, despite the presence of the High Main.
So once again, Sticky Finger not able to clear. Saku left with 2 minions still on board.
Oh, and another top deck.
Cheap enough for Mogu. Oh,
He can't play the Mogu here.
I
Or
think
the
you
Fireheart. I think he saved
want
the
to play the
Fireheart.
Mogu with the hero power.
Yeah. The Deathmatch Pavilion is fine, gives you another minion on the board, but you are going to have to play it before you swing, so.
All of these are kind
Yeah.
of disappointing.
Yeah, none of these
I guess
especially
you
ones
have
could,
to
want.
you
take.
could hold it, but
Well, you just want to get more off of
Fireheart.
Fireheart.
Yeah. I think you want to get it before you swing in case you have other ways to generate minions.
Although
Yeah.
with this one last box spine swing, it means that, you know, it's less likely that
Wind
Mogu
Fury.
would get anything valuable if he doesn't swing this turn.
Hmm.
Once again, pretty much
Running
has
out
to
of
take
time
Wind Fury
here.
and play it.
Or you can
That's
play
for
the
more
Flesh Shaper.
Discover.
Second Wind Fury. Oh
Another
my
Wind
goodness.
Fury, okay.
You need to start swinging.
You need to start
And
attacking,
though,
yeah.
Locked into the loop a little bit.
Oh, I took the
Finds
Torrent.
bird.
Probably would have
Oh,
wanted Lava
took-
Burst.
Yeah, Torrent over Lava Burst. Alright, Feesh is at 7 health, and here's another evolved board. Nothing
bad evolve.
too threatening, but the 5/5 is a little unsettling for Doctorfeesh.
Yeah, knowing that Saku would have had lethal if he had, well, I mean, he's got lethal anyway, but a sneakier lethal with that Lava Burst in hand would have been what I would have liked to see him pick there.
Okay, so Doctorfeesh leads with Veiled Worshipper and
There's Ticketus.
cards he wanted to see, but not now.
And nothing playable. Well, I mean, you can play Ticketus, but that's just not a great decision.
Feel like
Maybe
it
Dark
has to
Skies,
be
Dragon
like
Blight into healing twice, I think. I guess you maybe have the option
maybe
for
Cultist
Broom.
and Broom.
Yeah, he would have won the Cultist first, probably.
With
Oh, he's
2
gonna
sack packs in
clear.
hand, could have healed up nicely. This also, though, another way
Yeah,
to just
doesn't
clear
go
up that
through.
board.
Yeah.
And Saku now running out of pressure.
Yeah, he's going to end up being so close, but yeah, so far not able to get that last bit of damage unless he top picks one of the other weapons or villagers.
See
Mogu's,
Mogu
yeah,
coming
you
down
can't.
now post-evolve.
I don't know. I know you feel like you have to play it, but there's no chance it's ever doing anything for you other than dying.
Oh, another big pickup for Doctorfeesh with a fully invoked Galakrond, and Feesh is just holding all of the tools at this point to be able to survive.
Mm-hmm.
The 2 sack packs, another way to generate cheap demons with the Dragon Blight Cultist. This is just, you know, as many options as you could like.
Yeah, I think, I mean, it makes sense that you want to kill this Mogu, but because you could have played Galakrond, then into Dragon Blight, and then into healing twice, like you could have given yourself armor and healing and killed, saved the Mogu. I think it's probably fine.
Yeah,
At this point,
Feesh took, I mean, at first seemingly a little bit more dangerous of a line, but after ripping those 2 sack packs and going back
yeah,
up to
I
17,
feel like you're always going to do that. Yeah, you just
yeah, it
didn't want
just
to take
feels
that.
like there's not really much that Saku can do at this point.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Really just has to, like, immediately pick up the other Knuckles.
And he keeps playing these Mogus for basically nothing, unfortunately. So.
Alright, so Doctorfeesh gets to do basically whatever
Yes.
he would like at this
Yeah.
point.
I mean, Galakrond's fine too. Just any of these are fine. Galakrond gives them a big board. They can follow up with Kronks. Ticketus kills a lot of Saku's deck that could potentially get rid of the other weapon possibilities. Also enable Yashiraj to come down as well, although I don't think. Yeah, well, that actually doesn't matter if Ticketus dies or not, because Yashiraj can still get it again. So I think we're just basically playing out the string on this one, and he's just going to take a 2-1 lead.
Oh, Saku running a sticky
There's the
finger
bog
in
spine.
his list as well. Hey, what a pickup though. Still gets
Just got
the
him closer
Villager,
to it.
has more weapon swings now.
Yeah. Did I speak too soon?
Couple chargers. It happened last time. Oh, wow. Wow.
That's
The
a potential
Solarian
miracle.
Prime. Oh, man. Sticky minions, that's really worst case scenario for Feesh. I mean, I still think it's a long way off of a win from Saku here, but it's certainly a possibility. Whereas just a moment ago, it was really looking completely like 0% chance of win for Saku.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
it's
those are
definitely Yashiraj,
great
though.
evolves for Saku for sure.
Yeah, you might want to Yashiraj. You might want to actually attack with Ticketus into the 4/5 first, and then play Yashiraj with the Corrupting Disaster, because there's a chance you could get the poison Cobra off of the 4/5 that kills your Ticketus.
Okay. There's Yashiraj. There's the Cascading
I feel like
first.
cascading before playing Ticketus to try to burn the Solarian out. Porcupine.
Now with Ticketus, see if he can burn the
Great
Prime
ball.
or get Saku closer to drawing the Prime.
There
I
it
don't see a
goes.
oh,
Prime.
there it is. Okay, and
Yep.
that should be almost certainly Saku's final out.
We will see what the Evolve brings. I mean, I guess there's a chance that
Opportunity for charge. Yeah.
Yeah, it could be.
the 5/2 charger, yeah. Oh, I saw green, but it's
they
only a
lit up
rush.
green.
Oh, that was
Yeah, so that's
Yeah.
gonna do it.
2 turns or 2 games in a row was probably a little too much to ask of the RNG gods.
So Doctorfeesh can choose whatever lethal he fancies. I'm kind of hoping he kills him with the Galakrond swing.
He's just going to play it straight, minion death.
Nothing fancy.
Solid workman-like victory from Doctorfeesh, and takes the 2-1 lead now. Back and forth we go, and Doctorfeesh's Warlock will remain up for this next game, with Saku down to his final deck, being the Paladin.
Yep. So we didn't see Paladin against the Warrior. I guess it doesn't really say much because he just felt confident with the Evolved Shaman winning that matchup. But I guess, do we still think this is going to be a pure Paladin? No telling quite yet with the Mrgl. This is all pretty standard. Either Broom
Yeah,
or pure.
no information yet.
Now we know.
Well, I tell you what, Lightforge
Okay.
Crusader says I'm pure.
Yep, that is correct. So
It's about as obvious as it can get there.
Really heavy hand there for Feesh. If Saku can curve out decently, he might be able to get there before all the removal tools come online.
Yeah, this is a great opening curve.
generally the one advantage that Pure has over Broom is being able to curve out a lot more aggressively and put out that threat. It is a pretty straightforward deck, and when you hit the pretty straightforward curve, you feel really good about it.
Yeah,
It's still going to be a turn before Feesh can even play anything, and even his turn next turn isn't going to answer what's on the board already.
There's a lead from
Saku plays.
Saku could, instead of Goody 2 shields, he could have gone Elven Archer, Worgen, Infiltrator, and Libram to pump the damage this turn, but that also plays against the likelihood of the Plague of Flames, but Dark Sky's a good draw.
Yeah, now Doctorfeesh just holding all the removal tools with Dark Skies and Plague of Flames. Next turn is going to be able to clear up 3 minions on the board with the Maniac Plague if he needed to. Saku starting to lose some momentum in this game due to that Dark Skies.
Yeah, Dark Skies was a massive pickup for Feesh. It might have been
Dark Skies number 2.
Another one, right off the top.
This one I don't think you play yet. I think you have the answer in the Maniac. I don't even think you need to play.
No, you don't even need to Plague. You're not under nearly enough pressure.
Just pick the value trade and wait. So we could see Blessing with Authority come down here on not really anything, probably the 1-1. Throw a little extra pressure on the board, though that does most likely get answered pretty immediately by the Plague of Flames. But, I mean, from Saga's perspective, you've seen one, or you've seen the Dark Sky, so you just kind of have to, I mean, play as if they don't have it, because if they do, I mean, what are you going to do? You can't play around everything.
Yep, can't block everything. Saku electing to buff the stealth minion. Well, you can't go face.
Cannot do that. That is on the card text.
Turn, but you buff it. Although, I do like the attempt.
I mean, if the game's going to let you do it, right?
Just double checking here.
So he keeps it stealth, which, I mean, conceptually, I understand why you would do that, but yeah, Plague of Flames is a card in hand for Feesh. It's going to be very, very bad.
That Feesh has, that Warlock has for this minion, don't care whether it's stealth or not, unfortunately. So.
Right.
I do like keeping it stealth, though, because that is basically one of 2 answers that Feesh would have, given the minion health. It would have to be either Plague of Flames or Cascading.
Very quick to play that Aldor Attendant. Could have seen a case for playing a Lightforge Crusader there instead of floating
yeah,
the 3 mana.
Yeah, a bit surprised we didn't see coin Lightforged, but maybe Saku wanting to coin out the high X art, feeling like it could be necessary.
Perhaps, or just wanting to get the Libram of Hope 1 turn sooner to being online, which is, I guess, a possibility here, especially now that this board is quite wide.
This is a very wide board.
It's starting to look troublesome for Saku. The downside of having a curved deck is when the curve gets interrupted and you're playing from behind, it's very difficult to get back into it. XL is or Uriel, excuse me, Exarch Uriel is a decent option for that, but there's so much power coming back from Feesh's side that might not even be enough.
Yeah, and the Yrel would die to a Dragonblight Cultist very easily, as would a Lightforged Crusader or the Libra of Hope. This at least prompts the most minions to hit into this minion based on what Saku knows on board, but of course Doctorfeesh holding Cascading Disaster. It's just so easy to clear and push damage. Yeah, Saku with the well-played emote here. I think he recognizes this is pretty much all but over.
Interesting decision to tap there, tap into the full hand.
The realization. Tap lasts as it's a drawback sometimes.
Pretty much Yrel plus Libram, your only play here at this point.
Yeah, so you
it
picked
does
up the
allow for
Libram
quite a bit of healing.
Justice. So you do at least have the option for potentially drawing Consecrate next turn. Kind of clawing your way back into this, but...
We see Feesh, of course, holding another Cascading Disaster in hand, which can just get right through this Yrel.
He's going to go ahead and buff it up as well.
Make sure you get it back off the Yogg'Saron in case that matters.
Yeah, I don't think that's necessarily going to come to that, but yes, it is the right technical move.
And another full board. I don't know what kind of miracle could exist in this Lightforged Crusader.
Oh my Yogg. I mean, it's a miracle. It's not one that's going to come to pass, but it is a miracle.
Okay, Saku leading with coin.
It's got to be Crusader. There's nothing in your hand that saves you.
I'm sure
Saying a
Saku
little
does
prayer?
likely run consecrations, so sad I'm sure to not see a consecration to pair with the Libram to survive still. But just gonna go Zealot and True Seeker, leave lethal on board.
Yeah, it's not going to do it.
Saku savoring his last minute on stream.
That's right,
What is
yeah.
going on?
Man's got the floor. He's just gonna use up his time. Almost able to find the lethal. If he
I
had
thought about
played
cutting
the-
away from him.
If he had played the Libram Justice, he could have actually found the lethal there. Alright, so this will wrap it up, and Doctorfeesh takes the 3-1. Warlock putting in work.
Warlock, not bad.
Sticky Fingers and the Vault Shaman are apparently still part of the meta, so...
They're part of some meta. Might not be everyone's meta, but they're here, and they did see play. So, congratulations there, Feesh, getting the first win of the season. Well, we can congratulate him in person. We might as well. Let's see if we can get him in here for an interview.
There'll probably be fewer people joining us if we invite Feesh as opposed to BrushyTuna
Perhaps.
interview one.
All right, he is on his way in. I almost accidentally left the group, which is like the exact opposite of what I was trying to do.
Come
Nice.
on, Donde.
Just, you know, good old Saturday night casting action. There he is. Welcome, Doctorfeesh. Congratulations on the win. How's it going, man?
Going well, man. I'm feeling good.
Yeah, gotta feel good taking a 3-1 there. Big points for your team.
Yeah.
You already had the 4-1 lead, so this puts you guys at 8-2.
Yeah, that was really good. Really good match. I always love playing against my boy Saku. Or I mean, this is my first time playing Saku, but I love him. He's a great opponent. Yeah, I think minus a couple of hiccups with hand size. I played decently well.
Yeah, for
Results
sure. I
definitely-
mean, you know, a 3-1 tells the story. You definitely played those games to a pretty convincing victory. There were some funny moments like burning ETC.
Yeah,
But
I
I mean,
wanted
you
to-
are already won anyway at that point.
I had, but I saw. I was like, really? I bring ETC and then I burn it. The one game I probably play it.
We call that extended BM fish.
Nah. I should have been able to throw that skipper down last second, but I didn't realize I had 10 cards after the battle rage.
Fair. Tell me about one of the things that probably could have been the most nerve-wracking. Tell me about the moment that you saw Solarian get evolved into. How nervous were you that you weren't gonna burn Solarian Prime and Prime was gonna show up and scam you out of that game?
Oh, I was scared. Oh, I 100% was so scared about that.
Yeah.
I was just like, let's just order this. Order this correctly.
Yep.
And sometimes we get lucky.
Nicely done, yeah, to
Thank
put
you.
the Prime in the deck first and then
Yeah.
try to burn it.
I kept looking every time I wanted to use Sticky Fingers. It was a bad moment. Really.
We were a bit surprised, actually, that we didn't see Sticky Finger come down on just the very first
very first
time he
one.
played.
I thought about it.
the
I did think
Knuckles.
about it, but I thought the threat was really. I kind of was. I don't know. I just kind of felt like maybe the threat from the board was a bit more important. But I think that was probably when I should have played it. But
It was definitely your best opportunity to play it.
Yeah.
The game worked out for you. You had all the removal that you needed.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's interesting to have that card in the deck specifically for that matchup almost, and then really not find the best use for it. So.
yeah, I thought about it. I said I'm gonna slam it if I have to on like the first Sticky Finger swing. I don't remember what the evolves were, but I'll have to go back and see if maybe that was the play.
Yeah, but as it stands, it worked out for you. Certainly the
Yeah.
remaining plays with Sticky Finger felt less and less comfortable to actually play it, but Warlock had more than enough removal tools to just deal with every board that Saku was representing. You had
Yeah.
one slightly dangerous moment, I think, when he was getting you down to 7 health. He did
Yeah.
actually pass on a Lava Burst. He could have put you to 2 at one point.
Oh wow.
But outside of that, I mean, you of course had Galakrond for armor. You had
Yeah.
the sack packs for more heal, and just
Mhm.
Warlock did a lot of work there.
Oh yeah, that's one of my favorite decks currently, is the Galakrond Warlock.
Nice.
Yeah.
You definitely played it well, and definitely keyed your victory today over Saku. So congrats once
Yeah.
again.
Thank you. Yeah.
Got any shout outs while we have you on stream? Anyone want to call just maybe a particular other moment that we haven't covered about the matches you wanted to talk about?
I think like just the maneuvering of that Warlock versus Shaman game was so tense. Like some of those, like I had moments where I was like, man, a Dark Skies looks really good here, and then the evolves just put him just out of health range. But I don't know. I think I can't, and nothing like 100% sticks out besides milling the ETC. I found that comical. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the more important mill actually happened, though, right after you played the Rattlegore, when Saku milled his Wand Thief, which was his last best answer for the Rattlegore. Once that Rattlegore stuck, you were basically almost like assuredly going to win.
I actually didn't see the Wand Thief burn. I must have been looking away for a moment from the screen.
Fair
But
enough.
that's unfortunate. That really is unfortunate. The ETC versus Shaman was crazy. Like I was probably, if I had got to draw there, if I draw like anything that can draw, maybe I get a skipper. Maybe I am able to clear that. But that was quite a game.
Yeah, that ball shaman can be tough to beat when they get the weapon on curve, basically, and
yeah.
Warrior really needs to hit that brawl early enough to stop that damage from coming in. So yeah, you got in kind of a tough spot that game
was,
based
yeah.
on how Saku curved out.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't feel too bad about it.
I mean, the double
extra chargers to finish you off.
the
too.
double chargers was just like I saw the storm pike, and then I looked and there was a core crown. I was like, oh, I am dead.
Sometimes,
Yeah, it was a little overkill.
Sometimes that happens.
Yeah, that was fine. I mean, happens. But yeah, thank you guys for casting. Shout out to Saku for the game on stream. Shout out to my teammates Neji, Marty B, Adamos, Mako for prepping, getting us all ready to go for the week. Our team's trying to bounce back from a rough one against ATL 2 weeks ago. It looks like we're doing a good job.
Everyone is having rough ones against ATL right now. Let me tell you, that's not
I know,
not a unique situation, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Well
That
said.
seems real good.
But yeah, either way, congratulations on the win tonight. Very, very important for, as you mentioned, for your team to climb back here into the playoff race, and hopefully it leads to even better things for you.
Yep. Thank you.
Absolutely. All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for us tonight here on Salty Saturday. Thank everyone for being with us, of course, joining us both in the booth here, Ron and Icicles, and all the viewers out there at home. Thank you for tuning in. Missing some quality NFL playoff games for those of you who care. Ron, I know that's you. And Icicles, you're a Dolphins fan, so that really doesn't count at all.
Hey.
I mean, I just say that even though you had a better season than we did, but that's okay.
Right?
Oh, man.
What? NFL still going on? I don't know.
Yeah, I thought that stopped in
I
like
don't know,
January, like December rather.
I blacked out in the Super Bowl like a few years back.
Yeah, Ron
Stopped
wants to
following.
forget all that.
This
yeah.
cast is very quickly degenerating into completely off the rails. So
Yeah, there's gonna be people out there like,
Probably time to
sports
go.
ball, excuse me.
Sports ball. What is this?
That's not what I'm here
We
for.
came here for card slinging.
Oh, and
That's
card slinging they got,
I mean,
so.
yes, they got card slinging.
Well, thanks everyone for being here tonight.
Yeah.
We'll be back tomorrow afternoon with Sunday School Stone, and then of course tomorrow night on the Sunday Showdown, which Saku will come back to help broadcast that as well. So thanks for being here. We will see you next week. Good luck to anybody who still has to play, and peace.
Good night, everybody.
Or
Good
as
night.
as Tuna would say, see ya.